with some deficiency in the home. And what I'd like to do is I'm starting a company called Christmas 14, and what it's going to be is we're going to sell merchandise, martial arts merchandise, T-shirts, gis, kimonos, things like that. And the proceeds are going to go to put kids all over the country into a martial arts program. So we have friend academies all over the country. For example, in Vancouver, I have Tim Shears. There's Henzo Gracie's Academy in New York, and all these friend academies. So we're going to take applications and listen to everybody's story, and they're going to be granted a scholarship at an approved martial arts academy and get them on the program. But they're going to have to sign a contract. They're going to have to show up on time. They're going to have to show up a certain amount of days a week. They're going to be heavily monitored. Their progress is going to be monitored, and it's all going to be on the website. So it's because I know what a martial arts program has done for me, and I see what it does to the kids in my kids' program. It changes their lives without question. I see it in their eyes. It changes their life path. They go in a very different direction.
It's sort of really cool because we're sort of doing the same exact thing. You're just doing it before they get to the place where we're getting them.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's amazing. The symmetry that's involved in that is we're getting the, you know, I wish all the people that were coming to us asking us for free beds, I wish maybe if they had done the jiu-jitsu at the age of 4, I have such a hard time saying it. And you'd think I'd have an easy time saying anything that started with Jew, but I don't. And but it would be, it's really cool. So they have to go to the website. They have to, you know, say why it is they want.
Yeah. They're gonna give us their story, and a lot of kids can't afford a martial arts program. You know, there's a lot of expensive academies out there, and they're expensive for a very good reason. You know, it's expensive to run an academy, and what you get out of it, it's the cheapest thing you'll ever purchase in your entire life. The result. If somebody could go back and they could say, "Hey, Flanery, you're black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. We're going to take that away from you." And when we take it away from you, you're going to lose every relationship that you gained from it, all the technique, all the cardio, all the physical. It's going to be removed. We're going to take it away unless you come up with $10 million. Rest assured, I'd come up with $10 million
Right.
in 30 days. It's that important to me. If you did that to my house, I'd be like, take the house. You know, I would not relinquish it for that amount of money. And when you realize, like, all I had to pay when I first started training, you know, an unlimited program at Hickson's Academy, I think I paid $220 a month. And a lot of people think, wow, that's expensive.
Right.
And it is. But what I got out of that, in hindsight, I'd have paid $1,000 a month. I would have, even if I couldn't afford it, I would have come up for that with that amount of money.
Where do you think that comes from, too? I mean, is that a societal thing that we've come to that point where people have no problem paying $300 for the internet? People have no problem any of that stuff, but they, you know, all of a sudden something healthy like karate, $200 a month, too expensive. Mm-hmm. Is something really just off? Or?
Well, I think it's all perception. You know, when you go into Starbucks, you can see the latte for $6.95 right in front of you, so you can estimate its worth. You can say, it's delicious. It's right in front of me. I can pay $6.95. I can get it right now. They don't know the power of a black belt. They don't know what it's going to do for their life. I mean, you can have somebody tell you what it's going to do, but it's a 10, 15-year endeavor.
Right.
It's hard for them to realize. And also, not only is it the money, but what they're questioning is, am I going to show up every day and take advantage of this $200 that I'm paying? Mm-hmm. Am I going to show up? So it's not them questioning the price. It's them questioning, am I actually going to show up? I can't tell you how many people have a membership to 24-Hour Fitness that don't show up.
I bet you January 2nd is your busiest day.
You know, it's funny. I mean, it goes 60, 20, 10, and 10. 60% is January. 20% is the fall. The summer and the spring are both 10s. You know, it's and you can see it. You know, the New Year's resolution.
But again, here you are like saying that, like, you know, people are saying, oh, you know, they see the latte and they see that instant gratification. But also a lot of times people are either like, I don't want to fail in front of people, or I don't think I can do it, instead of like just giving it a shot. Like, I think it's so important for people to try to expand your mind and realize that this is not just about your physical being, it's about your mental and spiritual being.
Yeah, you know, some people get it sooner than others. You know, you see guys walk in the door and from day one they're just bit. They're bit by the bug. And the reason Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is so different is because you can actively practice it at 100%. You know, you can roll with a guy, spar with a guy who's actively trying to choke you unconscious or break your arm. And the only thing saving you is a quick tap, and he lets go. But when you spar, if you're going in Muay Thai or kickboxing, you're really not going to absorb 100% blow of a low kick because you have to pull it a little bit. Otherwise, ACLs are going to be broken every day.
Right.
Guys are going to blow their meniscus out. Guys, it's different. So you can do it actively at 100%. So you can get very good very quickly because you do it at 100%.
Do you see ladies going in there?
Yeah, we see girls going all the time. I mean, it's a bit of an invasive martial art for girls because, I mean, it's sometimes a faces and a crotch, for
Right.
example, and it can look a
It's
little
a different
bit.
type of martial
It
art.
can look a little bit unnerving. Some girls are like, okay, yeah, I'm not really down with that.
By the
But,
way, if you just tuned in, you are listening to Clean Radio. We're in the studio tonight with Sean Patrick Flanery. Give us a call at 888-539-2980. That's 888-539-2980. We do have calls lining up. Let's take Elizabeth from New York City. Welcome to Clean Radio, Elizabeth.
Hey.
Hey.
Hi, Elizabeth.
Hi. So I was just wondering how you would let do you have to let an employer know if you're going in for treatment, if you're using their insurance?
That is actually a great question. Do you have? So if you're going, usually yes. If you're going into treatment, but most offices have a program called an EPA, an employment assistance program, or is that EAP? I'm sorry about that. Andrew's usually in here.
Yeah.
He's more of the professional, but most companies do have an EAP program, Elizabeth, where you would go in and it's all private, so nobody in the company would have to know. And usually companies are really supportive, and the great thing is once you go to your EAP, they can't fire you.
Yeah.
Does that
Okay. What if you don't know if you have one?
an EAP program?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to obviously ask you what company you're working for, but most big companies do have these programs. You could call anonymously to the company's, the 1-800 number and
Yeah.
say, "Do you guys have an EAP program?" You could look online.
Also, if you have a private company, if you work for a private company and they may not have that, they should have that. Although if they don't have that, no one can fire you for you going away to get better.
Yeah, we have a
It's
Disability Act in America, Elizabeth,
Yeah.
where you're not allowed to be fired for your disability. And drug addiction and alcoholism is a
Considered.
disability.
Yes, thank God.
But the biggest question is what's going on?
With me?
Yeah, with you.
I just think the drinking is
You what?
not okay.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
You think the drinking's not okay? Do you feel like you no longer can control your drinking, and you obviously are feeling something? If you're saying it's no longer okay, you're feeling that it's not working any longer.
Right.
And do you work for a private company?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, they should allow you to go away again. And are you questioning if you're an alcoholic or a drug addict, or are you saying that you need to get help?
I'm pretty sure I need help, but
Yeah,
I don't think I'm the A word.
An
Okay.
alcoholic. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, an
Okay.
alcohol-
So if you pretty sure
Okay.
know that,
I'm curious though. What is we're in the studio tonight with Sean Patrick Flanery. We're in the studio with Jennifer Easy on the Eyes Gimenez. Before we got in, Sean was saying that he's addicted to jiu-jitsu. I can't say that word.
You can't.
You have a passion, and you have a healthy passion for.
Yeah.
And what is stopping you from saying that you might have a problem? That you're an alcoholic.
Well, I just don't like saying I have a problem.
Oh, okay.
but you know you do.
Sure, no.
Okay.
Well, no, you're in that place. I mean, really, you're in a place right now, and I'm gonna tell you pretty much probably what place you're in. It's not working for you, and it's sometimes you have 10 minutes of pain and like 10 seconds of pleasure. Maybe, am I wrong? When you start drinking.
I don't know.
I'm going to call it. I'm sorry. I'm going to say she
Yeah.
does have a problem. She knows it. It's hard to admit. It's kind of like, why don't I go and I try jiu-jitsu is what we were talking about. And then you just can't do it because you're afraid of failing or succeeding. And God forbid anyone were to understand where you're at, because probably you feel like no one else does understand. And it's a really scary thing to confront the truth and actually say it publicly. Trust me.
Yeah.
I understand
And
that.
I think most people are calibrated like 25% on the safe side. So if you think you're riding the fence, 99%
You're
of the
right.
time,
Right.
you're over the fence.
Yeah, you're over the fence for sure.
Right.
And
If you have to ask.
and I commend you for calling
Yeah.
and for even talking, regardless if no one that you know is listening or not. The fact that you're talking about this is ginormous, and
Yeah.
I applaud you for it. I can relate. I can really relate to you, and I know where it's at. You know where you're at. It's scary. It's scary, and it's also scary that you're going to stop and your life is going to change and you're going to feel.
Yeah, and then how do you
Cope.
live your life like that?
Not alone. You don't do it
Yeah.
alone. You do it with people helping you and walking you through this. And you actually start listening to people that are in the rooms. I don't know if you need to go to treatment. I don't know how bad your alcoholism is or drug addiction or whatever addiction it is that you have. But you don't do this alone, and you have to learn to rely on other people. And you've probably been really hurt and betrayed your whole life, or at least a long time, that you can't trust right now. But you please, if anything, understand and believe me when I'm telling you, I've been where you've been.
Trust me, she has.
I mean, I don't know if you know anything about these like reality shows and stuff, but I'm on rehab, and tonight I actually talked about having a miscarriage because another girl was going through it, and I needed to relate, and I exposed myself on a multi-million.
Not literally.
I exposed myself about that, and my mom was sitting there, and she's like, "Why did you have to say that?" Even though she knew it, and I said, "Because I needed to, Mom. I needed to help someone else," and I feel I exposed myself, and yet I'm sitting here and I'm doing this radio show and I'm crumbling inside because I'm really freaked out that I've told the whole entire world, literally. By the time this show airs everywhere around the world, everyone will know that. I'm scared. I understand that. I understand breaking oh my God, how am I going to learn to live without drugs and alcohol? They're your love of your life and they have just betrayed you.
And I think that's the biggest fear we're talking about is you're at that point where we were just talking about 25%, 50% of you knows it. The other 50 is scared to death. Right now. I mean, it's a scary thing. Like Jen was just saying, you're giving up potentially your best friend, your lover, your all that. I hate that word. But all that stuff.
But it's betrayed you this whole entire
Yeah.
time. It's let you down. So now you're not only grieving drugs and alcohol or whatever it is, but you're also grieving the fact that you've been betrayed.
Elizabeth, we got to go to break. Can you stay on the line? We're going to get your info. Is that cool?
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Elizabeth. You're listening to Clean Radio. The discussion continues pretty soon.
Are you struggling with an addiction that's ruining your life? Want to have a confidential conversation with a professional that will immediately assist you? Do you suspect a loved one is abusing drugs and would like a free drug testing kit and consultation? KLEAN Treatment Center is standing by right now to help those with addictions and the people who care about them. Call 888-601-6040. That's 888-601-6040. Or go to KLEAN Treatment Center, that's clean with a K, cleantreatmentcenter.com.